take attendance, we'll do the roll call. Who's here? Peterson, here.
You took me out here.
It's Javilski here.
Over here.
Sorry, I was standing.
I was too. I was ready for the
That's
pledge.
all right. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
There's no citizens correspondence, and I don't see anybody in the room. So we'll continue with that. We need approval of the minutes of our August 15th meeting.
Move to approve.
I'll second.
A motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Need approval of our voucher list for September. Is there a motion to do so?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion's been made and second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Report on the water system performance. Okay.
That's you.
Good afternoon, everyone. This past month, we had both towers, Drexel and Putes, inspected for their annual cathodic protection field survey and visual conditions. Both cathodic protection systems are operating as designed, meeting all AWWA standards. In general, remarks on the Drexel Tower would be to inspect and touch up surface scratches needed due to past work. That tower has been visited frequently by tower people. Putes Tower is in good shape. Point two, the City of Oak Creek, Rawson Avenue flow station's meter has not been working since September 4th. Glenn Beardsley here has been monitoring the flow activity on a daily basis and averaging the flow readings where he believes the daily flow totals for this time of year and weather should be. Oak Creek is aware of the problem and has been pursuing a fix for it.
Do we purchase that meter? Own it.
And it's what they charge us off of?
Great. Glenn's got a daily spy going on.
They have a projected time when they get back up.
You know as well as I do, you meter. It's a mag meter, but
Yeah.
On September 14th at 60th and Ryan Road, one of our utility vehicles was struck and damaged to the point that it's undrivable. It was truck 793. This truck is a Ford Super Duty F550 diesel-powered truck with a utility workbox and auto crane on it. This truck for years has been the workhorse of the utility and will be needed to be replaced sooner than later. Dan Chack was driving and walked away with minor injuries, but pretty banged up. Dan received 2 cracked ribs and a head fracture.
Oh,
Aye. Jeez.
But I've talked to him daily and he's getting better.
Where was this?
60th and Ryan. And about
Coming through the
4
intersection, somebody ran a light.
4 minutes later, 5 minutes, 51st and Ryan, another one.
I went by those the other day. I'm going to work, 51st and then on 60th. They were both pretty severe.
60th was. We were in it. Or Dan was. I'll be meeting with the insurance company this coming week, Wednesday. I received the Franklin police report today, and the report states the driver of the other vehicle disregarded.
can you tell us how old the vehicle is? How old is it? An 08, thank you.
2008 with about a little over 100,000. Fourth point, cement restoration work has been completed on 2 of our dig sites, 88th Street and Thorncrest Drive. So that we should be caught up with all our restoration from main and lateral digs this year. Here's the sad news. Our meter change-out program is coming to a slow stop. At this time, the provider is having issues procuring electronic components as needed. The provider has been asked to provide the utility with a signature letter stating that due to the lack of components, meters cannot be provided for a signed contract. This letter would be for future DNR inquiries in the utilities regarding covering our backs with that.
They offered to swap out meters with something else, but after looking at it, basically would ruin our future plans of being able to not send the truck out. Right now, we're lining ourselves up, so eventually we don't have to send the truck out. They can talk plan, but if we were to swap meters, cut it off tape, basically. Change it.
How old are the meters that are popped out?
Well, we're already, from last year, I have 600, haven't been delivered yet. And we're averaging the last 3 years right around 100 a year.
It's the 20-year swap out, so what we've been testing.
Continue retesting until we get ours in, and then we'll have to go.
What does that mean? Every meter that's due 20 years due to be replaced. You're not replacing them. So you're doing some checking on the existing meter and it's functioning well, and so you'll be able to leave it alone for how long?
We'll go in and pull the 20-year-old meter out. We'll bring it out, test it, and if it tests within the parameters of what's required, it'll go back in until we receive the new meters, and then we'll get it out.
Okay.
But it's tested and it's either rebuilt or it's.
So it's possible you may have somebody brand new home that gets a meter, and then a few months later we're not coming.
Okay. September 4th, a new water sewer tech started. He was hired, and to this point, it seemed like it was a good hire. And last night, two other offers were extended to people of interest for the utility. So, if things go right, November, we could be up full steam. Past week, myself and Glenn attended the state annual AWWA conference in Madison, 13th, 14th, and 15th. The conference was very informative and was able to gather a lot of information, and it was a good participation.
Thank you.
Let our employee know best wishes for recovery.
Other questions? Let's move on to unfinished business. Item A. Also, public water supply of Franklin 2024, the board may enter into closed session pursuant to Wisconsin statute 19.851E to deliberate upon information, terms, and provisions for the potential provision of public water supply to the city of Franklin as related to the city, Franklin Municipal Water Utility and its customers in 2024 and beyond, and the potential negotiation of terms in relation to, including but not limited to potential amendments to the agreement for Oak Creek to provide water at wholesale to Franklin. Potential agreement terms with alternate public water supply sources, including but not limited to the City of Milwaukee, Milwaukee Water Works, financial analysis study of long-term water supply, and the investing of public funds in governmental actions in relation thereto for competitive and bargaining reasons, and to re-enter open session at the same place thereafter to act upon such matters discussed therein as it deems appropriate. Is there a motion to do so?
Seconded.
Okay, by roll call, all those in favor?
Peterson, aye.
Nick, aye.
Bilski, aye.
Grover, aye. Motion carried.
Aye.
Carried. Okay, next item, B, City of Franklin Water Transmission Main Contract A and the City of Franklin Elevated Storage Tank Contract B. Projects contract for the water main project on South Silvers Lane Road from West St. Martin's Road to 7911 South 100th Street. And the water storage tower in the vicinity of 8120 South Silvers Lane Road project, including process therefore.
In your packet, you notice that we did receive the approval for a year extension. Having said that, talking with Will, I'm fairly confident that we're going to get this bid out and we could award it by the end of the year. And Danielle's been making a lot of progress with her consultants. I think we can have the bonding and everything kind of lined up to go. Is that her statement?
Yes, October we'll have our rating call. We are planning on borrowing about close to $3 million.
Do again, the revolving.
So what?
The revolving.
We have, and I believe you have to get in line. Or we would have had to have been thinking that last year. Right?
Didn't we look
Is that
at the revolving fund?
Safe Drinking Water Loan
Yes.
Program? They wouldn't allow us to do it because of fire protection.
Oh, that's
Another aspect that Jim Mattoon could do through our application.
And I'm somewhat confused because I don't know how any project in the state will get a loan. That's the criteria because pretty much everyone has a fire.
The other one was future development. Future development.
We have
was
a,
that they
we have a
fund through
fire.
safe.
We don't have to worry about that.
Are you using it in Waukesha?
Absolutely.
And you have fire protection in Waukesha?
Absolutely. Seems like-
What is it?
Safe Drinking Water Loan Program.
Yeah.
Because they have so much pipe,
Yeah.
it's probably really.
Changing source, so it's obviously more fluid.
Yeah, we're
If I
right
could-
in the court.
Well, and the other thing, not to rain on Waukesha, haven't you guys pretty much frozen your board now because you can't expand water service area theoretically? I emphasize the word theoretically, but
Yes. Franklin would be more than happy, probably.
no doubt. You could get a 2.14%.
So when we plan to open bids again?
First ad will be October 11th, second ad will be October 18th. We will have a mandatory pre-bid conference on October 25th, and we will receive bids the morning of November 16th. Take the tower first, the transmission main 30 minutes after.
We are not bidding out the southern section. We've had some discussion. Maybe we should really try to get ductile iron as a preferred construction method since it's really our only in and out to the towers. But we'll bid it out as a mandatory alternate for PVC. See if there's savings. But last week at the conference, talking to some folks, I don't think PVC's less expensive than ductile iron these days.
All about availability.
Okay,
All right.
so on that subject,
Correct.
C, 2024 proposed budget.
I was like, I love how you just. So I'm not really sure how this has been done in the past. I know Tyler sent me something. I've received a few things, but I know that the water board controls the budget, and so I've printed off a 2024 summary of just the department itself, and then some numbers.
Thank you.
I'm not sure how involved I need to be in this, so whatever you guys can help me with. The first page is just like a brief description on the department, the positions. The mayor has not approved any additional staffing for the water utility for 2024, and then on the back is the requested capital projects. So if you want to look over those, and then the next couple pages are how I've outlined the budget report. So you have, starting on the left, I'm assuming what would be discussed between the Water Commission. The mayor's recommended budget and the department requests are fairly similar. Those are numbers that I've pulled together or I've kept flat from the 2023 budget, and then you have some activity from prior years. The few things that I've entered into the Board of Water budget are things that I believe my office controls, which would be things like interest income. We're transferring money from impact fees to cover the water tower project based on what Rupert Milkey had said. I believe it was a 51.2% impact fee usage. And then other things like allocation of labor from the various city hall departments, and then insurance. So anything else, again, I want to say that would be stuff that you guys discussed, but I'm not sure. So
On the capital expenses, the 7.1 million in 2023 original budget for the water tower.
that was what was originally approved by the PSC, I believe.
Did that get moved into 2024?
The money is already allocated, so we would just do a budget amendment to move it into 24 as project costs are incurred. I did request an extra $1 million because after talking with Glenn, I believe the project costs have gone up, or they will be going up. We borrowed money based on the new cost of about $8 million, with the intentions of using impact fees, money borrowed, and then using fund balance for the remaining. That's why I requested that additional $1 million. 24.
So from your perspective, since you've got the water tower in 23, even though it's going to be spent in 24 from a timing perspective.
Yeah, you don't
the
want to
total,
request it twice.
The total year end is, I mean, you're going to be fine by the time you get to.
Yep. Yep. The rates that I have in there is the revenues. I used some spreadsheets that I had found from Paul, and with Paul's help, forecasting what the ending 23 is going to look like and what 24 will look like based on no rate change. So I'm not really sure how that works for 24.
I struggle with, I'm just questioning the water use. Is your budget the same as this year? It wasn't this year. It's a dry year, so we've been selling more water. At least we have. And before that, we were seeing, and now we have an aggressive conservation program. And before the conservation, we were seeing a reduction just from natural improvements in plumbing fixtures, shower heads, and that sort of thing. Were you seeing that in terms of water sales? I mean, you're budgeting. I budgeting. I mean, if you look back,
It's very similar.
2022
Again,
is 3.1.
yep.
3.1, and there was a 3.3 in there, but 2021. I have no other. I tend to.
I'm
budget.
not sure. That's why, again, any input you guys have, I kept everything pretty much flat.
2020.
Yeah. Yep. That's right. I mean, I would tend to budget conservative and have that be
A little
lower.
less, okay.
Just be,
Yep.
and I don't
Oh,
know
that's-
that you're showing back to historical 2021. I don't know what it was doing prior to that.
And all my forecasts, again, are just based on spreadsheets that Paul had done and using usage gallons and rates and
We have had a lot of houses going in.
And that does take into account for an additional, I
Usually
want to
you-
say 100 users or.
Usually you build up the revenue by use per customer, how many customers you have.
Right.
Have it, so you just take the same numbers.
I only included an additional 100 customers in there.
That's.
But
the
again,
one-
I can
That's the
I
one
can-
comment I would have is look at the historic trends and see what those projections are. I don't know if they are.
Does this budget need to be approved tonight?
I'm not sure. Again, I don't know.
When does the total budget need to be adopted?
November 15, 14.
So we could talk about it next.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't. If you guys want to take this and look over again what I've thrown in there and what the mayor has talked about, and we can discuss at the next meeting if there's any changes that you think or can think of that might be coming up in 24 that I don't know about.
Mike, did you get an opportunity to, obviously, I'm assuming that's where the capital projects came from? You? You've had your input on this.
Where are you sitting? Yeah. Oh.
You're looking at the revenue.
Notice the price per meter. Mike, what are we paying this year for the price per meter?
Well, that's what I got them down to. We were at 90, or this year,
Yeah, what
we
have
were
we?
at 225.
They jumped from they jumped about $50 a meter.
Is this, it seemed we had an ask being affected with an accident. Will that totally be covered by insurance so that we don't have any major?
I talked to Danielle yesterday, and
Yeah. I mean, it's not that we have the funds that we can use while waiting for sort of reimbursement from insurance.
Is it
But will
replacement
it
value?
cover the whole thing?
Or is it depreciation?
I would have to look at the equipment replacement fund.
replacement value would be totally calculated in
Mhm.
70,000 or 50. Now to replace that, you're looking at probably 100.
Well, I'm just saying you can buy different
Yeah.
types of coverage. I don't know what type of coverage.
Yeah, exactly.
But do we need something under the capital covers the shortfall of that?
Is that this truck or is it another truck? Is that a second truck? 'Cause you're buying one. So the question is it,
No, what's in there is not a truck.
oh, it's not. It's that valve maintenance trailer?
Trailer.
Yeah, it's a four-stroke.
We didn't put anything for that vehicle replacement in here. My assumption is it would be done in 23, and we would have to do sort of a.
Oh. And we don't have to worry
Yeah,
about
I
it.
mean, well, if you can get a truck.
But we can encumber the funds in 23.
Here, there's lots of trucks.
Is there?
I know. All one.
The
I
state
don't know. I
contract
don't know if they're
limits you
diesel.
to
Though. I
two.
don't know if they're diesel.
State contract limits you to
So are you only asking her to look at the residential meter?
No, I would say
Revenue?
metered sales. I would look at metered sales and just look at the trends. They are. I mean, that's fair.
Yep.
Should be back up.
But that's the only area we have questions.
I think questions can be brought up at the next meeting. If we can-
Okay.
Well, and you should know more about the insurance coverage, right? What about workman's comp? Is there going to be any issue with like workman's comp if it's off any amount of time?
I can discuss that with Lisa.
I don't know if it was not planned.
I believe it would be because I think he's going to be off.
We've got 2 broken ribs.
Thank you,
Any
sir.
other questions?
You're welcome. I just if anybody has questions, but then again, because I haven't been here to do this, any suggestions or what you guys are expecting of me for the next meeting, so that we can get this
tell Dan that your figures are right.
I can do that.
I'm just curious. I see.
No.
I see. I know this year has been a high sales year because it's been dry and there's been. I mean, we've seen an increase in
Well,
sales.
and I can
too.
run a few different, I mean,
So-
it's all a simple calculation. I can run a few different ones and bring them or email
Yeah,
them.
I'm sure the price
What's
of
the-
water includes a 30% rate in Smoke Creek, that's why revenues are so high.
No comment.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right.
We got one more item to work through here.
I move to adjourn.
Second.
Motion been made and second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.